everybody, welcome to Boss Rush Podcast. I'm your host, the excellent Eddie B. Joining me, as always, it's the wise Wisconsin, Mr. Jesse Douglas.
How's it going, Ed?
Hey, yes, everybody, we kind of recording this one a little bit late, but we have a great discussion that we're going to have with news. There's a lot of games that we have been playing. Corey and Ray weren't able to make it. They are handling a lot of things at this time, but they are spending time with family and getting the rest that they needed. So hopefully the team will be back next time or next episode, and we discuss some more things. Because man, there was some heat this week. There were some ups and some downs and some anger, but we are all pulling through. So before we get into anything, gotta get this housekeeping. You can follow us on Twitter at Boss_Rush_Games. But I think Corey ended up changing it, so you can follow us at Boss Rush Games. I believe it's now the new Twitter page. Yeah, Boss Rush Games, all one word now, is our new Twitter. And on Facebook and Instagram at Boss Rush Games. Join our Discord, Xbox console community, and our Destiny clan. Also, live shows have returned. Just not for this episode. Join us live on Mixer and Twitch at Boss Rush Games Live. All one word to chat with us live on air. You can also find all of our content at bossrushgames.com. Pilot Play revamp our seasonal Let's Play show is almost close to an end. We still got 2 more episodes to show you guys, which is Resident Evil 3, and hopefully we can give out Halo Reach. We are going to be trying to work some things to make that happen, but Resident Evil 2 remake is recorded. We just all got to do Halo Reach, so hopefully you guys will be able to look forward to that. You can go to bossrushgames.com Saturdays for the season, and you can check out games like Devil May Cry 5, Resident Evil 2 remake, Spec Ops The Line, Monster Hunter, and more. Twitter us what games you want to see in the upcoming seasons. Arsenal X also has returned, everybody. You can check them on podcast services on Wednesdays. Join us on Sunday nights, Arsenal, for the pre-show, the live podcast recording, and some multiplayer Xbox fun on Mixer and Twitch. Also, remember to check out our family shows, podcasts, and videos on youtube.com/BossRushGames, podcast services, and of course on BossRushGames.com. And yes, everybody, there's going to be more content coming on. You guys might not see, sorry about that. You guys might not see Arsenal X this week. There's a lot of news and stuff that's coming for that show. So we wanted to make sure that we got all our ducks in row or in order. But hopefully next week you guys will be able to catch all new Arsenal X live. So you guys could check that out when it goes live. And I know I mentioned the Discord and Xbox console community in our Destiny clan. We really got to try to start reaching out to you guys, because we really do want to play with you guys, different games and everything. So we are going to be trying to reach out to everybody who wants to play. I definitely, if you guys want to play with me or play with Jesse, like a Modern Warfare, you guys could do that, or even Fortnite, and stuff. Like, I would love for people to play with me with Destiny, not Destiny, the Division 2 and some other games. I'm all for it. I need teaching in Overwatch, because I've never played Overwatch, so I won't be like, I don't know what I'm doing. And later on, hopefully we could all get together and do some Bleeding Edge, and definitely some Halo, because if you guys check back, me, Corey, and Jesse played Halo, all do Halo 4 and Halo 5, and we had such a ball. And the multiplayer for Halo 5 is so good, dude.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. And so it would be cool while we are in this quarantine time that everybody would come together and just have a wonderful time and connect and talk and stuff. But we're going to get into some gaming get down. Jesse, I'm going to hand it over to you. What games have you been getting down to?
All right, so I've been playing quite a few things. I did, get Resident Evil 3 early before it released, and downloaded it and everything, pre-downloaded it. And so I did start that, and I was a little surprised to see that the pod or the demo was pretty different. Like it's almost like they cut up the game
Uh-huh.
and they did it out of order. They did parts of it out of order, so it set a completely different kind of experience.
Yes.
But basically what they did is they kind of cut like pieces from like the earlier beginning and then kind of mixed pieces of it with some of the later stuff, and then like kind of just made this weird like different cut of the game, of that section,
Hmm.
and made it a different experience. Like basically what they did is they wanted you to be able to experience Nemesis without having to go super far into the game to
Yeah.
experience him. So they basically they kind of took part of the beginning, and then they spliced in the point when he kind of like one of the points that you interact with him. So I've been enjoying it a lot. It's definitely much more difficult, just because like he is seriously like he is crazy hard. Like when anytime you have an encounter with him, like you really gotta like be aware of your surroundings, and kind of use the couple of little things that
Hmm.
that you kind of have to your advantage. And like there's these like generators that are sparking, and if you shoot them when he's close by him, or if zombies are close by, it will explode in like a big electrical shock, and it will
Hmm.
shock everything in its radius of the explosion. So you do that, and then you can get him where he'll be shocked for a little while, and it will give you enough time to get enough of a head start away from him that he can't just like run up to you, because he moves really quick in this. And he's got this the big like tentacle thing that he uses, like a tentacle whip. And
Yeah.
he can like you could be like super far away from him, and he'll whip that tentacle and grab you and pull you back to him. So he's like super hard, man. And he's constantly there's all different parts once he arrives on the scene. Like there's a whole bunch of parts where anytime you go outside, basically you have to worry about encountering him, and you got to worry about where he's going to show up, because like he also can do this like super jump where he just like jumps like 30 feet in the air, and then
Dang.
flies in front, like lands right in front of you, blocking you from progressing. And so like my experience, and like this is like kind of like a little like a strategy thing. So
Hmm.
you'll find grenades throughout the map. And
Yes.
what I suggest people to do is, this is what I did, is just hold on to those, and only use them for when he first appears. Because if he appears and then you quick throw one of them at him, like it will stun him for a lot longer than the electricity stuff does.
Yeah.
And so what you want to do is do that, and then every time you blow him up with a grenade, he drops a suitcase thing, and then quick grab that before you move on, because that usually I've had a bunch of upgrade pieces in those cases that he drops when he gets blown up.
Yes.
And then those are used to upgrade your pistol. So like I think one of them gave me a silencer. One of them gave me a larger clip. I think that allowed me to hold like 40 or 30 shots or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it extends your pistol clip quite a bit. And then like you find there's like in the beginning of the game there's a there's a safe or whatever that's got a laser sight for your pistol. So I think basically after you explode him a couple of times, you fully upgrade your pistol from all the pieces he drops. He also, so like after that, after he drops all the pieces that upgrade your pistol,
Yeah.
then it just starts, I think, just being random things or things that are useful, like shotgun ammo or whatever, whenever you blow them up. So yeah, like early on in the game, like to the point of where I got, I think I ended up having like finding altogether like 5 or 6 grenades. And every time I would throw one when he was coming at me to stop him, and then he would, he'd drop stuff or whatever. Or maybe no, I think I blew him up like 4 times.
I know people have been saying that it's it's a shorter game than RE2. Like people beat it. One of my friends beat it in 6 hours and 38 minutes, and then I think he went back, or another person went back and beat it in like 4 hours and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just like, dang. I'm like, I thought Resident Evil 3 was longer, almost the same length as 2, because weren't you supposed to be going to the police station at the same time they go to the police station, or after they go to the police station?
I believe it's technically, I think it's after. But well, the thing is though, to remember as well is with 2 you're playing as 2 different people. So
Right.
like to get the full game, you've got to play through, with each character. Whereas this one, I think it's about as long as what a one playthrough would be in 2.
Okay.
Like
because 2 and 3 Resident Evil 2 and 3 is happening at the same time.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Because it was just like there were some sections in 3 that some of the parts that she went to were already solved because of what they did in 2.
Yeah.
What Claire and Leon did in 2. So
yeah.
Was it Claire and Leon? Yeah, because this is Jill
Mhm.
Valentine.
Yep.
So when you go through the police station, and this is the old version, not the new. I don't know the new version. There were some things that you will go through the same area with that, because I think after Resident Evil 2, 3, when 3 came out, they would like some of the same assets they use. They reuse some assets, and so it made the development shorter for it. So I was wondering if I wonder if that's the same thing in this new one.
Yeah, I think it kind of goes along the same lines where you're starting out in a different part of the town than where than 2 started. And then as you're progressing, you end up eventually at the police station, I believe is how it happens. Because I think I think like where I'm going, I think right now I'm probably close to going to the police station. I'm not sure. I'm in the sewer part right now.
Okay.
Where you run into like these, like, people call them alligators, but to me they look more like a mix between the Demogorgon from Stranger Things mixed with like a frog almost. Because
Yeah.
they've got like more like rounded like rounded, big rounded faces, like almost like a frog. I don't know, like because I think in the original they may have been like an alligator type thing, but they definitely do not look like alligators in this. But man, that part that is super hard because like I don't like this game does like like 2 was really good with making it where like you always were running low on ammunition and and health and stuff like that, but you'd always there'd always be something to regain your health. But like there was a couple of encounters with Mr. X or whatever, or Nemesis or whatever, that were like super, like he just annihilates you. Like, and if you get hit like with one of his big attacks, like once, it basically knocks you from like full health, like all the way down to like like critical or something like that. Like it's insane. I'm just playing on normal, so like it's definitely is way harder, and it's so much different of a game type than two is. Like
Well,
it's much more actiony.
yeah, that's what I was to say. They was just like three feels like more of an action game than
Yeah.
a suspense like two.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it definitely is suspenseful. Like I feel like even more than two was. Like it's much better at like keeping you stressed out all the time and
mhm.
like putting you on edge and stuff. Um because he's just relentless when he's
And
hunting you down.
and that's the I think yeah that's the suspenseful part is because of the
Yeah.
nemesis himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not really the zombies or anything
Yeah.
else. It's just
Yeah,
like
the zombies are more of just an obstacle to get through to try to get away from him.
yeah
Like the focus is barely like the zombies, you know, are barely a focus in this. They're just in your way basically in this game. Um but like I'm enjoying it. It's like I said, it definitely can be difficult at times.
hmm
But it's kind of like sorry, it's kind of like a Dark Souls or something like that where you just got to figure out like a good strategy to to jump over the hurdle that you're given with. But once you figure out your strategy and you
hmm
get through it, then you can push on, and then usually it's like still challenging but not like super difficult. It's kind of it will have its lulls to kind of give you a false sense of security into like like, oh, that part's done for now, but then all of a sudden like you might go back outside and then it starts all over again, and it's like because yeah, when you hear him like the like running at you from
hmm
behind, it's intense, man. That game is so intense, like all the time it feels like. So
Yeah, I think once like if you beat it and you get the rocket launcher, like if you get like unlimited rocket launcher ammo,
yeah,
every time you see him, you just be like bam, 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 and he's down.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
once you get that to happen, because it's a Resident Evil game, everybody knows that the rocket launcher is a traditional weapon in every game. Like you cannot have Resident Evil without the
yeah.
rocket launcher.
And I think I heard supposedly you find it somewhere in the area I'm in at some point. When because I had heard something about people talking about you getting it by the alligator part, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm
Okay.
not quite there yet. And that's the thing. Maybe the things I'm going against aren't quite the alligator part yet. So,
Because I think that
but
alligator is a boss fight, right?
yeah, and well, in the one of the last, yeah, in one of the last games, or no, I'm thinking of four. In four, there's a alligator boss. Because you remember you're in four, you're like there's a part where you're in the in the tunnels and stuff underground, and I think you have to go against a big alligator there, if
Mhm.
I remember correctly. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna probably get back to it tomorrow, hopefully. But
Yeah.
I've got a lot of games though that I've been playing that I like want to go back to now. So yeah, I've been enjoying that, playing that. I also played some of the gridiron mode on Gears 5.
hmm
And it's a new game type. It's a capture the flag kind of thing. Almost it's almost like flag football,
That's what I was just saying.
basically.
Like it sounds like a football game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically like flag football. So like you or well there's a flag and then you grab the flag and then like you have to try to run it to like where the other team spawned
hmm
basically to which would be like their end zone,
Yeah.
and then you have an end zone, and so it's a battle for the flag and just, who can run it to the other person's end zone, or you can just get the 2 points by completely eliminating their whole team. And so that usually is what it comes down to a lot of the times, unless it's like my team we got I only played one game of it and we ended up winning because it was only me and one other guy on my team left.
Yeah.
And he had the flag, and then the only two guys left on the other team, or three guys on the other team left, were all trying to kill me. But I kept on moving around and then slowly doing damage to them, and that was just enough time for him to book it towards the end zone and get a point and score a point.
Nice.
And so then that's how we ended up winning our game. But we were just dominating them for most of the game, and then we just started screwing around and not really playing very well, and we let them catch up a little bit. But I think we still ended up winning by 4 points or something like that, which would be two rounds. Yeah, so I was enjoying that. I think it's a really fun game type. It's they still do where there's a couple of more heavy or high powered weapons and key spots. But what I like is the flag, where the flag spawns is different. It's not always in the same place, to kind of change it up a little bit, which is nice. But yeah, so if you haven't gone back to Gears in a little while, and you like playing Gears multiplayer, it's definitely a game type to check out.
I definitely need to pop it back in. I gotta see if it needs to do an update. If not, I think I'm gonna give it a try sometime this week.
Okay, yeah. I think I had to download that new game type. I think it's a standalone thing, kind of, somewhat, not really, but I mean it. I don't know if it's all one thing. Because I ended up removing Gears 5 from my hard drive just because I was putting a whole bunch of other stuff on there to try out at the time. But I got rid of a bunch of things that I know I'm not gonna play or finish, and I loaded some new games back on that I had on it before that I just got rid of for whatever reason. Because one of them being World War II, the Call of Duty, I ended up purchasing that because it was on sale, and I liked that game. It was a good Call of Duty.
I started it, but then I stopped. I have it on one, and I think I just need to it was because it was part of my my Black Friday stuff that I got, and I think I tried it, and I think I stopped playing it because I had jumped back into Modern Warfare, and I had stayed with Modern Warfare, and I just didn't go back to World War II. But I'll check it out.
Yeah, I haven't played the story or the campaign. I don't remember if there was one or not, but yeah, I who knows? Actually, I might play the campaign and just see how it is. So yeah, I played that. I also I've been playing some. Let's see. I gotta think here because there's so many games that I was kind of running through. I also played. Well, I just before we started the show, I downloaded the other day Nier Automata, and so I played that, and man, that game is so fun.
Okay. So what did you think at the beginning before you started doing any of the action?
Before I started doing any of the action, just like how the story starts, or what?
How the game starts. When you're flying.
I loved it because I love shoot 'em up.
Okay.
So,
do you think and this is my opinion, do you think that this is something Platinum needs to explore more,
Yeah.
because when I felt that, I'm like, someone at Treasure is now working at Platinum, because it
Yeah.
feels like a Treasure game, and I'm just like, this is weird. Platinum's never done a shoot 'em up style game like this. Who who worked at Treasure to do this? And then again, it gets into the action. Once it gets into the
Yeah.
action, you be like, oh, okay, now this is the Platinum that I know.
Well, honestly, I think this is probably the best game that I've ever played that Platinum's made. Like I like it better than anything they've made. But I think because they don't just stick to one kind of game type,
Mm,
like they did such a good job of mixing the, Bayonetta-ish kind of style with the shoot 'em up and
mm,
like, like the things that I could see, like that I wasn't too sure of me liking it, like how the cameras kind of switch all the time, like switch different views.
yeah,
Like when I seen that, like I wasn't sure that I would really care for the game because, like cameras can be an issue in a lot of games, like the original Resident Evil games. A lot of people didn't like the original Resident Evil games, and like didn't start liking them a lot until 4 because they didn't really care for the camera stuff.
mm,
But for me, the cameras never bothered me in the original Resident Evil games. But that's just because like that's what, like I could look past that at the time because the story was so great that it had no effect on my enjoyment of it.
well,
And
well, definitely with Near Automata. Um, it they Platinum took some things from Bayonetta 2, and not so much as the fighting. We know how
yeah,
they're good at that, but there are two levels in Bayonetta 2 that remind you of not Star Fox, a space area that has these
yeah,
shooting elements to it, where
yeah,
Near Automata. Because it's top down at one point, and before you get to like a different, like shoot 'em up part, it feels different, like they're trying to do something different.
yeah,
And yes, it works in Bayonetta too, but they explore more with Near Automata. So
yeah,
that's where you just be like, okay, Platinum, you guys, you took what you did with Bayonetta 2 and improved upon it with this game.
yeah,
And I kind of enjoyed that. I think the thing that I had a problem with Automata is that some stuff felt like it dragged on too long, and I was just
yeah,
like that beginning part, it was just like I had to fight that boss for the beginning part, not the big machine thing, the thing after it.
hmm
I had to
hmm
fight that thing so many times, and it was just, and I didn't lower the difficulty, didn't do none of that, but it was just like, okay, Platinum, you got to give players a chance. I understand that this is difficult, but you got to give the player a chance to enjoy this game, because the thing about it is, if you die, you got to redo that whole stuff all over, and you cannot skip it.
hmm Yeah, well, I'll be honest. I think this is one of those games for sure that having the Xbox Pro
Hmm.
controller is definitely would be ideal for this game, just because like my only gripe that I have so far is I do not like that a lot of the times you're holding down all the trigger buttons, like
Yeah,
because, well, or at least you're holding down the right trigger button to do your shooting and or whatever, and then you're constantly hitting the left trigger to lock on and stuff like that to enemies, so
yeah,
that shooting is actually doing something, and you're constantly having to wait the second, like you're moving anyway, you gotta keep on hitting that lock on to make sure that you're not just shooting at nothing, and which is fine. But I think like the whole only part I don't like is then when you're doing that, if you're doing that plus you're doing everything else, now you got to use your pointer finger to hit to hit your dodge or your dash
Mm-hmm.
motion, to get out of the way. But if you're doing all that stuff and then you're trying to hit that and you're doing all these things at once, like that would be a perfect time to have down by your middle finger, have those the underneath bumper buttons that you can program
Yeah.
to be your dash, so you can just hit that underneath it instead of having to use your pointer finger. Just it would just make it easier because your middle finger is down there underneath the controller anyways doing nothing, so
And
now you
just
can just hit it like
and,
when you
and
need
just
to.
to make it clear, everybody, this is the GOS edition that's on Game Pass for Xbox One. It's not the
Yeah,
original version that came out for PS4. So,
yeah, yeah,
in case if you were wondering, why we're talking in that manner, Jesse's playing the Xbox One version, and I have it on PS4. That's
yeah,
where I went and got it at.
yeah.
So just want to make that clear to everybody.
Yeah, so I'm really enjoying that game because yeah, it like I like how it just kind of switches it up constantly and kind of makes it fresh with all different kinds of mixtures of genres of games. You're doing side scrolling, you're doing the shoot 'em up, you're doing top down, you're doing like it's kind of, in a way, it almost reminds me of Contra.
Yes.
Like, because in Contra you have your side scrolling, and then you have the ones where you're running forward and you're shooting forward, and it's kind of, and then you've got where it just kind of is constantly changing up like that throughout
Yes.
each part of the level. Like, yeah, like that's what it almost reminds me of. Is it reminds me of like putting Contra into a more modern style game. And I just absolutely like that the whole mech idea, having all the mech stuff in it, and
Hmm.
and the robots and stuff like that. I just absolutely am loving that. Like, cause yeah, I just like had to beat the big robot that had the big like arms that had like the big spinning things on them, and he would like chop down at you and stuff like that. So
Yes.
I just beat him, and then it got to the point of where a whole bunch of them were coming towards us, and then we used the black box things and blew everything up or something like that.
Hmm.
And then yeah, and so that's basically where I left off. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting back into that again.
Yeah, because you got
Um,
there's 5 endings that you got to get to get the full story of the
the
game.
full story. Okay.
Yeah, I got one, but I got to finish. I think 9S. I think that's the boy. Um,
Okay.
so I'm probably at where you're at, but I got to finish his story and then continue to go on.
Okay. Yeah, 9S was the boy there in the beginning that's helping you out. That helps you defeat those robots or whatever. Yeah, so yeah, like I like everything about this game. Like, honestly, the way it looks, the way, the controls are really decent. Like I said, with that one minor gripe that really can be easily fixed with the Pro controller for me.
Hmm.
um just button mapping the dash key to one of my trigger underneath extra triggers. So um I'll probably for the first time actually put one of those on and use it because I don't really use those the extra bumper keys underneath that you can add to the Pro controller.
Uh,
um so yeah, I've like it's awesome. I like the characters so far, and I just, that was such a cool fight when you're going against that robot and kind of being like, well, at first it's you're doing where he's like, he's far away and he's chopping down at you, and you're
yeah.
shooting at his head. He definitely looks like a transformer. Like, that he looks exactly like a transformer.
Yeah.
Um yeah, and then I liked how it kind of switched to the, when you switch to the mech or whatever that you're fighting in, and then eventually you take control of one of his arms, and it's just kind of floating to the side of you, and you're slashing him with it. It was a lot of fun. It was definitely a enjoyable boss fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, if they keep on delivering, experiences like that for the rest of the game, I'll definitely enjoy it. Because that's the thing. Like I said, I did not know whether I would enjoy this game or not, and so I just, I didn't really know if I wanted to spend money on a game that I wasn't for sure I would like.
I mean, it,
Just
it
be,
takes it takes a while to learn, but I'm like, once you learn it and get into it, you be like, okay, I see what this is. Cool.
yeah, yeah, and I caught on pretty quickly, like, just because, like, I kind of the basic idea of it. I've played all the game types that they kind of mash together quite a bit, and in my early days, I used to play a lot of shoot 'em ups and side scrolling, and and the whole Bayonetta stuff. I've played those type of games quite a bit at this point, so
Hmm.
it's a they did a really good job of balancing it all and really making it all work together. So yeah,
Yeah.
for me, it's definitely, like I said, I think this is my favorite platinum game that I've played so far. um because, like, I like Bayonetta, and it's good in what it does, but at the same time, like there, it's kind of like the Orochi Warrior whatever games,
Yeah.
where it just like
The
the
Dynasty
band,
Warriors style
yeah,
games.
Dynasty Warriors, yeah, like those, and even like because like I like DMC and stuff as well.
Hmm.
That's kind of like the same, along the same lines as Bayonetta and stuff. But sometimes, like, when it with the way that those games work, it gets too repetitive for me. And so, like, I think that's why this whole changing of perspectives in this game really does it a lot of service in that aspect.
Well, Bayonetta is more of Bayonetta 2, I should say.
Yeah.
It's more of you learning the combos, but because it gives you a bigger arsenal,
Hmm.
you change up the car you change it up.
Hmm.
In near automata, because you don't get such of a big arsenal, they kind of have to change, and they have to provide a variety of gameplay to you,
Hmm.
because even
Yeah.
though you are playing different characters, it's very limited in the fighting. But if they give you different things that you could do, like to shoot them up and stuff like that, and playing it like in a 2D plane and stuff, and like going in and trying to, like, you're going into a Atari game and playing stuff like that, because they changing everything up that way, it offers you more variety to make up for the fighting that's in the game. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and so yeah, I'm definitely enjoying that game, and like I said, I'm looking forward to playing some more of it. Um I did jump back into Siege a little bit too, and I
Hmm.
played some Siege. Didn't really do a whole lot in that. They've changed it up quite a bit since the last time I played it, so it's like I have no idea like where anything is, or like there's a couple, they've added new characters and stuff that I don't know anything about and all that. Um, let's see. What else did I know there's something else. What else just came out to there's some other stuff that just came out to Game Pass that I played.
Uh,
Oh,
was it Yakuza or no? Yakuza was already
no,
there.
no, I played Moons of Madness.
Oh, more of
That's
that.
that's the one, because
Okay.
yeah, I didn't, yeah. So I played some more of that. And if you didn't hear me talk about that game at all, it's like a almost like a kind of a walking simulator,
Hmm.
basically.
Yeah.
Where you're kind of solving puzzles and you're progressing the story. And it's just a really good game, and um, like a horror slash like sci-fi type kind of thing. Um, and a lot of like messing with your brain, like where the character you're playing as is like has like hallucinations and weird things and stuff like that going on. So it kind of adds to all the suspense and things like that. So that's a really good game. And then I know there's like a couple of games that I just recently got that I haven't played yet. I did end up getting Ghost Recon,
Breakpoint.
the new one. Yeah, Breakpoint. I'm kind of looking forward to playing that since I heard that they kind of changed it up quite a bit
Yeah, I
since it
need
came out. So
yeah, I need to get back into it, see what they changed and everything.
yeah. And then I also played some more Wreckfest. Been enjoying that. Um, and I still haven't gotten back to Animal Crossing yet because like everyone else in my house now is playing it.
Yeah.
My wife started an account and she's been playing it like every night. Oh, the last couple of nights. I don't think she did tonight, but she did over the weekend, kind of. Um, and the kids have been playing it and stuff. I played some Fortnite. A lot of times my son will be playing Fortnite, and then like every once in a while he'll just be like, "Hey, Dad, do you want to play a game or whatever?" And then so then I'll go on and play it. But like yeah, he loves Fortnite, like because right now is like the perfect time if you're not great at those kind of games to
Hmm.
hop on and play it because um like honestly, like he's 8. He barely plays any of like really hasn't played any kind of shooter, third person shooters or anything like that
Hmm.
until he started on like playing the Battlefield or whatever two or not Battlefield Battlefront 2
Yeah.
and Fortnite. And like the other day when he was playing Fortnite, he got like 11 kills.
Mm.
And so like I mean he's doing he's doing impressive, doing pretty well for his age and not really knowing how to play those type of games. But what was really funny is I had put this video on YouTube where it went over the evolution of video game controllers.
Yeah.
And so it starts out with, like with the Atari controllers and and like Pong, where you had the two dials that you had to turn on the
Yes.
thing to try to, try to bounce the balls and back and forth or whatever. And so we were watching that, and then it was going through the evolution, and then it started getting into the PlayStation era, and and he was we were watching it together, and he was all like excited about things. He's like, oh, you have that one, or I'd tell him, I played this one, or I had this one at one point, and going through the GameCube and the three or the N64, and then yeah,
Yeah.
I got to the PlayStation controllers, and I told him that I had a PS2, which he kind of knows, but it just wasn't at the top of his mind ever. And so then for whatever reason, he just had it in him that he wanted to play that on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to play some games on the PS2, and now he's been like obsessed with playing games on that. So like he was playing Tony Hawk 3
Uh.
and Destruction Derby 2 and a NASCAR racing game that I have, and he was playing WWE Raw versus SmackDown.
Yeah.
I think it was maybe it was Attitude, or I don't remember which one I have, but so he wanted to try that, and that was a little bit too complex quite yet for him, just because there's so many different kinds of button combinations that you have to
Mm-hmm.
do for certain things, you know. So that was a little overwhelming for him, but wanted to try it. And I said, like that stuff like that will all come in time. Like I had years and years of playing it on N64,
Mm-hmm.
those wrestling games and stuff to get used to that. So
Yeah.
so yeah, like yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm almost certain there's like at least two other games that I played, but I just can't think of them right now because like I had a couple of just, things where I wanted to play stuff and just kind of get an idea of it. Or, like the other night I was just kind of oh, I know what I played. I played some more Hitman, the first one because I'm trying to finish the first Hitman, like trying to finish the whole game for our backlog challenge. And then
The
and then I'm gonna
episode was
yeah, the
okay.
episodic, yeah. And then I'm gonna finish two after that, for the
Okay.
backlog as well. But yeah, that just sounded like a good game that would keep me interested for right now, and that I could just play like one episode and be done for the day kind of thing,
Yeah.
because an episode can take like an hour to 2 hours or whatever to finish, depending on how quickly you come up with an idea of how to, assassinate the people that you have to kill. And the part I'm on right now is really difficult because usually every episode so far is only you've had to assassinate two people.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I'm on now, I'm in like this big militias, like big massive camp of these guys just wearing camo, and just every single person in the place has a gun.
Yeah.
And I have to kill four people in this area. I have to take out four people when like almost everyone around has a gun. So
Wow.
it's difficult. I don't know how many episodes there are in the first season.
I think there's five. I
Oh,
think there's
was
five
there? Okay,
episodes. Yeah.
then I think I'm on like the last one or the second to last one.
Think of the
There
last.
might be
Okay.
one more after this or something, but which would make sense because I have see,
Actually, I think if it's not five, I think it's six.
yeah, it could be. I think I'm on the fifth one, and then
Okay.
I could see from here there being one more
One more. Yeah.
because it feels like I'm really going into like the territory of whoever the main bad guys are, because with it ramping up as much as it has. So
Okay.
so yeah, so that was the other game, and like I said, I'm sure there was a bunch of other ones that I played.
Okay, cool. So for me, for Switch, I still play Animal Crossing. Right now I'm still just trying to get the Town Nook store up and running. There's some more iron that I gotta get, so there's more. Uh, there's some more stones I have to try to cut to get. It's a weird thing, but like once I get it, I'll be good to go. Um, after that, I'll jump back into like Zelda, some other games. I do have 3000 Duel that I'm playing. Trying to get more into that. Uh, After 3000 Duel, hopefully I would get it back into Chasm because I've been playing that too. Um, After Chasm, I'll play some other stuff. But I played the Bravely Default 2 demo. Um, I just gotta finish like grinding and then getting into the boss. With that, still gotta play Trials of Cold Steel 3 demo because they announced 4, and it's just like I need to get into this series and stuff. And it's very weird because uh I know Corey's been playing The Witcher 3, and I literally want to load that game up on Xbox One and play it. Uh, because while he keeps making me excited to play it, and it's just like, oh, I need to play it, even though there's just other stuff that I have to do. For PS4, still playing Kiwami, Yakuza Kiwami, getting further into that game, man. Really, really getting. I was getting my tail kicked, but I'm like, this is supposed to happen because I don't have my powers and everything, so I gotta get them all back. But truly, it's a beautiful game still. Like this remake that they did in the like Yakuza 6 engine for this game really just makes the game look good compared to the PS2 version. I was just like, I hope Xbox players are playing this game. Because like I said, I bought Yakuza Kiwami 2 also.
Yeah.
I got that on sale. So I can't wait to like finish one and then go and play two. Because I can't for the backlog challenge, I can't get points for beating Yakuza Kiwami because I already beat the original one, but I could get points for two because I never beaten two when it came out. So I'm good with that. So that's what I'm doing with PlayStation. I did pick up Persona 5 Royal for PlayStation, even though I have the original version. They say that this Royal version is really, really good. It really adds more. So if you're into it, you know, and if you're ready to spend the money, it's worth picking up. And if you haven't played Persona 5, then this definitive version is the one to get. For Xbox One, I picked up Star Wars Fallen Jedi and Resident Evil 3, but haven't started it yet. I did, like I said, I picked up Final Fantasy 13, haven't started yet. Played a little bit of Tales of Vesperia. That might be my next game, but I gotta see how that goes. I just installed Ori and the Will of the Wisp because my last game that I'm gonna talk about, which is Control, it crashed on me, dude. So I'm getting close to the end. And I'm in the chapter where Polaris is at. Love the Ashtray Maze. And what makes that maze is the soundtrack. It's the music to that part. That rocket soundtrack. Like it really sounds good. So I was just like, oh, this is really cool on how they did it. Did you go to it the first time and get the achievement when it took you in a circle?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I found that out. I'm like, oh, okay. I got the circle. I'm like, okay, I got the achievement. And then I was just like, oh, this is where to go to do this. And it's really cool. I've been watching like breakdown videos of it, of the characters and stuff. I'm just like, oh, okay, that's cool. But then I play the game and be like, oh, this is frustrating. This part is frustrating. This part is garbage. Why am I doing this? Because I don't know if you did the optional bosses in the game.
Yes and no. I think I did a couple of them, but I don't think I've done all of them.
Okay, so I'm at the part where you had to eat the mold, and everything smells crappy to you. Because you found that doctor who wanted you to get the mold and stuff. You find 5 pieces of mold. She makes the medicine so that you wouldn't be affected. Because if you smelled it and you eat the mold without having it, you turn into those monsters. And so now, so I'm at a part where you have to fight this plant. He's kind of like supposed to be like the hardest boss, optional boss in there. And he is getting frustrated. I keep getting 2/3 of his health down. But because they like the game likes to cheat in a sense, because the camera is weird. You trying to throw stuff at it and everything is not. It doesn't always like connect and stuff. Some of the stuttering is still happening, and it's just like, why am I? The camera like zooms in on you, and you didn't press no camera thing to zoom on. And it's just like, this is a frustrating boss, especially when you're trying to get if you die, you got to deal once again with the long loading, and you're at the last checkpoint, which is the save point. So trying
Hmm.
to get back to that plant, you got to fight all of those monsters again. And you can't really get anybody to like help you and stuff. You got to kind of do all of that in one take. And it's just like it would have been better if you died, you were still close to the plant, but you
Hmm.
could go down and be ready to fight instead of having to do all of that stuff, you
Yeah.
know. And it's just like, why am I doing this? So I didn't beat him. I just continue to work on the game. So I got to the part where you find Hernan, or the little thing that you talk to. Um,
Okay.
and it's being attacked by the hiss and everything,
Okay.
and you gotta try to like let it go, get it free and stuff.
Hmm.
I did all three of it. I seized two of the enemies so they could fight among anybody while I'm
Hmm.
handling the beans to let it go. And the
Hmm.
moment I run, it froze and crashed on me. And I
Hmm.
said, no, thank you. I took it out and installed Ori 2. Like I can, this is the second game of my backlog, of my Black Friday games that I have done this. I've done it with Borderlands 3, and now I'm doing it with Control. It's just like, why are you guys making this stuff frustrating? It feels like you didn't Q and A this game. And me and Corey was talking about it, I think, on Power Block. It was just like, why is it when games feel frustrating, it feels like they didn't have nobody test this game? And I can understand the budget that Remedy had, because it's their own money that made this game, and 505 just did the publishing. But it's just like, why you guys why did you guys make these decisions for this game and you didn't patch it? And then you look at Quantum Break and you see how a little bit more polished that is. The only frustrating thing for a lot of people was the ending boss, but I was able to beat the ending boss like on my third try on normal. And it's just like, why is this game more polished than this other game? Because I don't feel
Well,
like because I don't feel like Control should be after going through what I've been through. I don't feel Control should be nominated for a Game of the Year. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, and I wonder if their budget though, like if Sony gave, you would think Sony would have had to have given them money for their
N-
budget.
no, this
Well,
is
why did they have an exclusive
for which part?
for the expansion, the new stuff for
Control.
for Control is only on PlayStation and PC right now.
I the found
You can't play it on Xbox
the
until
found
like 2 months from now.
the foundation. I thought it was available for everybody.
Nope, nope, only on PlayStation
That I
and PC.
they Well, it wouldn't be no exclusive if they played it for PC. Of Sony paid for it. Sony paid for an exclusive for it to be on their system. PC wouldn't have gotten it. Um, I think Remedy. It may have been a budget thing for Remedy. Because like I said, the game isn't exclusive or anything. I didn't know that the DLC was exclusive. Because everything came out of Remedy's pocket. It may have been a deal with 505 Games.
Hmm.
They may have they may have made a deal on Remedy's behalf in order for it to come out for PlayStation and PC. But they said even the foundation is kind of lackluster. Like you get two new powers, but that's about it. And they said it's not really it's just like you pretty much doing the same thing.
Yeah,
With
I heard it was, yeah, that like the people that I've heard talk about it that have played it said that, yeah, like it's like it doesn't do a whole lot different, but at the
Mhm.
same time it delivers on what people want. They want to learn more about about the old house, and like,
Yeah.
like, because that's ultimately what's interesting about that game, is learning about the like why this is happening, and where this stuff is coming from, and how the hiss and all that stuff got there. And it's dealing with that. It's dealing with like more of the origin of how and why this is happening at that building,
Yeah.
you
I,
know.
I was thinking of this, and we're gonna move on to news. I was thinking of, I was just like, while thinking about this at work and talking to myself, because I do that sometimes in my mind. I was just like, Remedy really should have worked with Nintendo. I think Nintendo would have helped. I think Nintendo would help Remedy polish their games better, because nothing against Microsoft. I don't think Microsoft is in a position to help a game be polished. They're more of, we'll support you with our budget, but everything gets up on you and we won't interfere. And so
Hmm.
that leads into some problematic stuff with it. Where I feel like Nintendo is like, when they do an exclusive with another company, they are coming in to check up on it. They are giving some ideas. There's some kind of polishing and discussions going on to make a game better. And even if it's even if it's from one of their lower tier, or not no name, not saying no name, but less name developer at Nintendo, there is someone there that got their footing in to help them guide and direct to make their product better. Because I think that's how Bayonetta 2 even came out. I know Nintendo had let Platinum do whatever they want, but I know Nintendo came to check up on some stuff, because if they're paying for it, we want to know where our money is going to. And we're going to give you guys suggestions, because we have done video games and we know how to make a greater product. And I really wish that I just wish that Remedy would have made a game for Nintendo, for any kind of platform, and Nintendo really went to them and said, "We need you guys. We could make you guys make this game for us, but let's give you guys some directions. Let's fix this. You should take this out, replace it to this. Don't do this. Give a surprise here. This would be moody. This would be." Nintendo would have helped them to make their stuff better. So when they get
Well,
done working with Nintendo, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, that's the thing though, is they wouldn't have been able to make what they want if that's if you want that, like, because they've got a, like, if they've got a vision of what they want something to be, and then, like, that's the thing. I think Microsoft
Mhm.
knew, like, made the right choice with Quantum Break, of just like saying, hey, we'll give you money to help you make your game. And I'm sure there are things that they had a little bit of a say on, but
Mhm.
for the most part, the whole idea was they wanted to just let them do their thing, because
And
like a lot
and
of times that's what
and
create devs want, is they
and
want to be able to do their projects and
yeah,
not have
and I
someone telling them what to do.
and yeah, and Nintendo would have let them do that, but Nintendo would have corrected a lot of their technical flaws and their problems
Yeah.
that they probably been thinking
Well,
of. They've been thinking of, because Nintendo, in a sense, will want to not say that they need to follow everything, but to be like, we can make your quality better than you just putting it out because you had to get something out.
Well, except for it would have like immensely, like limited them to anything, because
Mhm.
first off, Nintendo would have had to have a console that could actually run this game.
Well, but it's not, but it's that's why I'm not even talking about control. I'm just talking about
Yeah.
Nintendo working with
Well, I
Remedy
know.
on the game,
Yeah.
and it could have been for any of their consoles.
Yeah, and yeah, they could eventually down the line.
I
But
think
yeah, control it would not have been able to they would not have been able to fix control.
I in a sense, because of Nintendo knowing how to make a Metroid game in a sense, and Control, even though it's not a Metroid style game,
Mhm.
it feels like that. It's more Tomb Raider than Metroid. I would say that. Um, I
Yeah,
think
or Resident Evil. I think it's more like Resident
Resident
Evil.
Evil. I think Nintendo would. I think Nintendo would have went in and been able to clean up some of their technical problems
Yeah,
and fix some of the things that Remedy should know how to fix
yeah,
and make a better game. Even if Nintendo and Remedy did something completely different that's outside Alan Wake or outside
yeah.
Techno Adventure or even doing Eternal Darkness, Nintendo will be able to walk in and be like, okay, we love the session. We know where you guys are going, but you need to tweak and you need to fix this.
Yeah.
And then and show 'em. Because that's kind of, and we're gonna get to this. I'm sorry, this is my last thing, because that's how Platinum became a well-known name. Platinum was even though Platinum had Bayonetta and we everybody know the story and stuff. Platinum wouldn't have had the work that they would have had without Bayonetta 2 and
Yeah.
Nintendo saying and giving them this, because they made they made three games with Activision. They made Near Automata with Square Enix, and you see how that turned out. And Platinum was on a roll with a lot of stuff because of how Bayonetta 2 was. And yes, a
Mhm.
lot 95 of that percent of work was Platinum, with 5% with of Nintendo coming in checking up on things and knowing to be like, we know that you guys do action. We know the comedy and all of that stuff. We still want you guys to be Platinum, but we could tweak and fix some stuff to make your product better. And
Yeah.
I think that's what happened with Remedy. Remedy could have did something completely with Nintendo, and
Mhm.
I think Remedy the developers there would have been like, wow, not only did we get to work with one of the well-known famous companies in video games, but what they taught us, we now could take and put into other products in our game. And um, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Well, I like the one last thing I want to say though is the thing is though is like from their like what they like to do though,
Hmm.
you know, I feel like they're too much into the more realistic looking stuff that
Yes.
unfortunately I just don't think that like unless they did something like that was animated like a more cartoonish version of something they would normally do, but I don't really see them ever making you know like making something that would be more along a Nintendo's you know kind of style of game.
Well,
Like
and
I honestly, you know, mentioning that this game is a lot like Resident Evil, like to me, like they almost remind me a lot of the, you know, of the developers of the Resident Evil games, like that group of people who made those games.
mhm.
Like those games, you know, like they definitely had their flaws, you know, read the original Resident Evil games had their flaws, but they were really good at like telling a story and you know a lot
Yeah,
of the other things that go along with it made
and
up
and
for it.
and
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 so
and,
I
and
could see them, you know, like Remedy, you know, because they're still fairly, you know,
right,
young
they
for a developer
developer,
company.
and
So
they tell well-made stories. Alan Wake
yeah.
is a choice. They tell well-made stories. It's just that sometimes the execution doesn't
Mhm.
represent that well-told story, because like even with Alan Wake, as great as that game could have been, it lost its way halfway through that game, and it felt a little boring and repetitive. And I think that's because it felt like a little bit dragged out. in a sense, and that's more of a me thing, where I feel like Control's story is so interesting and so unique, and it's just like, yes, I love how this game look. I love what you guys are telling. If you just would have fixed the technical problems of this game, it
Hmm.
would have been better and everything. I love looking around and trying to find all the collectibles so I could read them later. All of that is great. Love the cutscenes. Love how the game looks. Um,
Hmm.
the hair on Jesse though is is a mess. I was just like, y'all could have fixed this, but I'm like, I love the adventure that I want to go on. I wish your technical stuff for this game
Yeah.
was fixed. What I think they could have did with Eternal Darkness 2, Remedy and Nintendo working together to make Eternal Darkness 2 would be insane, because Nintendo be like, tell the story that you want to tell,
Yeah.
do whatever art style you think is fitting to tell the story. It don't have to even be about power. But if you could get this stuff together, and then we'll come in and help you refine some of the gameplay ideas to make this better, I think they will clown. Eternal
Yeah.
Darkness 2 by Remedy, they will clown. Remedy has that experience with Alan Wake, but they can make it. Nintendo will help them make it better, and it will probably be one of the most creepiest things ever. That it would throw everybody for a loop. I would just say that.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
I think more people will buy a Nintendo and Remedy game than anything else, because it's more intriguing to see what the heck are you guys making with Nintendo, and when can I play it.
Well,
So we're curious.
honestly, what I would have liked to have seen is Remedy work with the people who made the Blair Witch game,
Oh yeah.
because because that Blair Witch game, like, it had a lot of really great things to it,
Mhm.
but they just didn't they needed someone to help them with executing the ending of that story a little bit better.
Oh
Like, I
heck
mean,
yeah.
obviously the ending of the story is, like, I mean, it ends, like, different than what you would see in the movie. I don't know. I guess I haven't watched the newest version of the original movie yet. I still need to watch that, but because there is a lot of Alan, like, that game definitely feels like homage to Alan Wake, because the whole idea of your flashlight being your weapon, and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, I don't know, like, because yeah, and part of it, unfortunately, too, I think with the technical stuff for you, a lot of that is because you're still playing on the original PlayStation or the original Xbox One, and that game is definitely taxing on even the X, as far as, like, what it needs for power. I think that's the thing, is they really tried to do too much with this game, and
Yes.
it affected it, too much in that way. So it needs a lot of power to get through some of that stuff,
Yeah.
because it's just visually it's amazing. So
Yes. So we're gonna get into these quick three news stories. Um the first one is coming from Game Informer, and I thought this was really really cool that Rockstar was doing. Rockstar's donated in-game revenue to COVID-19 relief. Red Dead Redemption 2 developer Rockstar has announced that starting today, or by the time the story was posted, through the end of May, it is donating 5% of in-game transactions in Red Dead Online and GTA Online to help businesses and communities deal with COVID-19. The tweet announcing the campaign says it will distribute aid both directly and by supporting some of the amazing organizations who are on the ground. Rockstar says that more details regarding the initiative are coming in the future. So I think that's really cool and
hmm.
everything. Once again, I don't know if this happened to you, Jesse, but I know I got an alert for Illinois that they're looking for more nurses, and if you are a nurse, or you could come and help out they send they do like an announcement, like a text to everybody in Illinois. I don't know if they did that in Wisconsin or anything.
They did that for something, but it was more of a they're actually sending the the National Guard. They're sending the National
Hmm.
Guard out uh to a nursing home because unfortunately it's just like wiping everyone out in this nursing home. Like it's wiping out like staff, it's wiping out the people that live there obviously
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
older people unfortunately it's a lot more devastating for them. But but yeah, I mean, man, it's crazy how awful this is
Yes.
and
So
how there's still so many people that are just not taking it
serious.
seriously
Yeah.
because like I had to get I had to get some things just for some small projects of stuff that I needed to do in the house
Hmm.
because we figure if we're going to be staying in the house we might as well be doing projects in here and getting things done and I just needed a couple of things and I thought for sure I could go to Menards or whatever and it wouldn't be that bad but it was just packed and right when you walk in it says you know, uh, to practice social distancing and all this. And so, like, I would try to go down an aisle, like, where there really wasn't anyone standing in, and I'd be doing my part, but then I would be in an aisle by myself, and then someone would just come walking up right behind me and go past, they would just be going through that aisle that I'm in just to go to where they want to go. And it's like, the whole point of this is we're supposed to stay away from each other. I'm just here for a moment. I'm going to grab what I need and then I'm getting out of there. And then you can walk through there if you need to. But like I was trying to be more, do it more along those lines of just trying not to be around anyone so they don't have to worry about whether I'm going to get them sick and I don't have to worry whether they're going to get them sick. Just in there to grab what I need and get out. And if it takes me longer, like it did, because I want to not go down this aisle because I see someone's there getting something, so be it. But if I'm going to put that kind of effort into it, then you've also got to.
Well, for a lot of people, when it comes to social distancing, it's more when you're waiting in line. You really
Yeah.
can't do nothing when you're passing another person and you're
Mm.
in the same aisle. That so stuff like that is kind of impossible.
Yeah,
Definitely.
but if you're just walking through an aisle because you want to get somewhere faster,
Hmm.
like that's kind of that's pointless then. You're right up on someone and therefore you're not social distancing. The whole point is you're supposed to stay away from people as much as you can. Like that,
Which
like that
and that's why I say it gets hard when that's why I say it gets hard when you're like you said walking through an aisle. Like if you see somebody and you got to go through that aisle to get
well, but
something because it's
that's the
there.
thing is they don't if there's nothing in that aisle
If there's nothing in
that
that aisle, yes, I understand.
yes, then
Yes, that
don't go through it. Yeah, see, that's what
yes.
I'm saying is people were walking through the aisle to go somewhere else. Just they walk through the aisle without, that's the whole thing is like you've got sections and you like there's a section of an aisle, then there's an aisle going this way, and then there's an aisle going, and it's all broken up into sections. So if you see someone down a section of an aisle and you don't have to get anything in that section, don't go down it. But people were just going down it to try to get to where they wanted to go
Hmm.
faster. And it's like, well, the whole point is you're supposed to go in an aisle where there isn't someone because there's plenty of aisles and the chances of there being someone in every single one of those aisles is very unlikely,
I'm
you know.
surprised Home Depot is even open. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
because it's just like,
Well, it's considered essential because I mean, if there's still people that have to buy stuff and tools and things for
oh,
for
for my
doing
house.
constructions on houses and especially if there's places where they're building makeshift um hospitals and stuff to put the overflow in and things like that.
Mm.
So Yeah, I think that's the thing is it's unfortunately something like that has got to stay open, but and everyone's trying to get stuff to do projects at their house while they're, having to stay in their house. They figure they might as well, our neighbor down the street, he's getting his roof he's redoing his roof. Like we've got like everyone's just trying to do stuff. So I guess it probably shouldn't have surprised me that Menards of all places would be busy, but
Yeah, that's more shocking to me. So, but yeah, it's good that Rockstar is doing it. We're gonna move on. It was announced on Twitter that The Last of Us 2 has been delayed indefinitely. And people are thinking that Ghost of Tsushima is going to be delayed also. This is also due to COVID-19.
mhm.
I know they said it was out of their hands and everything. So now, in a sense, that May kind of now belongs back to Nintendo. And I was talking to Corey, and I was telling him, as much as the turnaround for Nintendo has been engaging in the fact that, definitely with Switch being such a hit,
Mhm.
um, that it kind of is saving a lot of people when it comes to games. Um, the last.
Well, to be fair though, like half of their of that too is the fact that they released a failure console last year and almost no one played their games, so they could re-release them, and so many people didn't play them, so therefore
Mm.
it's like having new games all over again.
Well,
Like, so I mean they
and
had a whole catalog of games that were already there and made that just need to be, upresed.
it's a little bit yes and no. The fact that that time was different than what it
Yeah.
is now,
Yeah.
where it's just like, yes, we got Ori and the Blind Forest, we got Doom Eternal, but
Hmm.
Animal Crossing has been such a
Hmm.
big thing. Tokyo
Yeah.
Mirage has been a big thing. Panzer Dragoon, whatever you take that as. There's just been a lot of games that when it comes on Switch, uh it's making people really happy and
Hmm.
engaging.
Yeah.
People are still showing stuff off. So definitely with this Nintendo Direct, it's great that we got Resident Evil 3. It's great that we're getting Final Fantasy 7. A lot of people, like I said, they're canceled their physical to get it digitally. Some people
Hmm.
already got the game and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, if it wasn't kind of like for a lot of stuff coming out for Nintendo on Switch, I think we would pretty much have a hard time with playing, looking forward to new stuff for gaming. Yes, we have our backlog. Yes, we have indie, and yes, we have uh yes, we have Game Pass and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But something with
Well,
something to,
and Xbox has released
yeah,
quite a few new games recently as well. So,
yeah.
yeah.
And so, you know, looking at Nintendo definitely for May, it's just like, if we had The Last of Us 2 in May, that's that's great for PlayStation players. Fantastic for PlayStation players. But they're stuck with Dreams and they're stuck with Neo 2 and Final Fantasy 7 and the remake, which is cool. Which is great for PlayStation players. But I'm just like, you have to now wait again for one of the biggest anticipated games for the PlayStation brand. And with Nintendo, they're just looking at that Nintendo Direct Mini. I'm like, on May 29th, you're getting 4 games.
Hmm.
Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive, BioShock, Borderlands Collection, XCOM 2. Like, you're getting those 4 games. And then I think there's another game. You get Minecraft Dungeons the 26th of May. Like, that's 3 days before and Xenoblade in those games. So you're really getting a lot of games, and probably people are going to play Minecraft Dungeons on Xbox One during Game Pass, and there's going to probably be people buying it on Switch because they think they want to play it there. They want that collector's edition, or they might
Hmm.
just like want a physical. Uh, but we know at least up until June that there are games coming out for Switch that if we have the money and they're brand new, people will go out and support. Like if you only had a PlayStation and you were all caught up with your backlog, if you don't have PlayStation Now or PlayStation Plus, what do you have to play? Like if Dreams is not your game, if you if you move past be if you move past beyond Bloodborne, like what do you have for that system? Like to say you forgive me if you're just stuck playing the PlayStation, you know?
It's just third party stuff. I mean,
Yeah. So
but yeah, but that's the thing though. Like honestly, I'm sure there's plenty of things that people will have to play for everything, but yeah, I mean to not have any first party stuff, that sucks for the people who care about that. But honestly, like that's the thing is I know people like to constantly talk about how first party, for consoles matters so much, but
hmm
when you look at the numbers and you see that like 10% of the people who own a console, no matter what console it is, are buying, the first party games only. That's not 10% is not does not say that first party games are important to me. I don't know. That's just me though. I do think they're important, obviously, but at the same time, like the majority of games, no matter how good the first party games are for that system,
hmm
the majority of games that a person plays on a console is not first party. So that's why like I think the whole console war stuff and all that stuff is so stupid because in reality, everyone that's playing games, it doesn't matter what console they're on, they're going to be playing the games that they enjoy on that console. And when it comes down to it, the majority of those games are not exclusive to that what they're playing on. So why even fight about it or say whose console is better or where, it is what it is. Just enjoy playing games.
Yes.
But
Speaking of playing games, so we're gonna
some
end we're gonna end this last conversation. It was reported that the Gearbox employees were not getting their bonuses, even though Borderlands 3 was successful, so close to 8 million.
yeah,
And Randy Pitchford was able to get allegedly $12 million. This is all alleged. This is all rumor. $12 million. And it says that he told them his employees that they're gonna take whatever bonus that they give to him, and if they don't, then they could quit. Uh,
mhm.
that's what
Yeah,
it
that
was
if
that
they
she
didn't
said to
like
them.
it, that they could quit. Yeah,
Yes, and so throughout the week, everybody has been just hating Randy Pitchford. I told Jesse and I told Corey that I'm not buying the Borderlands Legacy Collection for Switch. My support for Gearbox has ended. Um, I,
yeah,
I care for those developers. I really think they are talented, and I really think they should be paid what they are deserved. And if they feel like they're going to continue to get robbed like that, I think they need to leave and go somewhere else.
yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
not I'm not buying it. Mm.
Yeah. So okay, so this is my thought on it. And I don't think the way to I don't think the way to protest this is to not buy their stuff. Me
Mhm.
personally, I just haven't really been buying some of their games because the recent games that they've released just aren't something that I would really be interested in. So it like I've been disappointed with what's been going on there, but that's not why I haven't bought their stuff. to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how I look at this. Like, if this is true, what needs to be done is the people that are working there, if this really is true and this really is the way he acts, unfortunately, I know that, like, well, let's be honest, right now is probably the perfect time to leave. Because your chances are a lot of these people aren't really getting getting a whole lot done or working much anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Once they finish the project they're on, I would just get out of there, like, but so the thing that I see this as is, okay, part of what happened with all this is they were given lower wages. They when they took this job, and I'll to be honest, part of this kind of does fall on the people who work there, because like I mean, you don't expect something like this to happen, and you'd expect that the person, hopefully, that you're working for has your like you in mind, and actually cares about the
Mm-hmm.
people that they're hiring. And so, like, I don't fault them for that. But so, like, when they took the job, he basically said that they would not be getting paid nearly as much as what they might make at another place. But what would supposedly make up for them not being paid as much as they would get stock in the company. And that stock that they get in the company, if a game that they make does really well, then they will be promised that portion that they technically own. So that's what these bonuses that they were supposed to be getting was it's part of their stock that they own when they took the job. And so for him to block that from being able to happen is, one, bull crap, and two, like what he did basically in doing that is now, like, and what I'm getting to is, this is why we need to have unions in video game industry. Okay, so basically what he did is he's paying you less. He promised you stock in the business. So he basically has played a checkmate and situation where he has now used you as a personal shield, that, okay, he can do whatever he wants. And if people get mad at what he does and they don't buy the game, that doesn't hurt him. It hurts all
Well,
the people who made that game,
the
because now
I,
they're not getting paid what they deserve
the pro I
for
think
that game.
I think the problem is that everybody feels like Randy Pitchford doesn't do nothing for Gearbox.
Well, he doesn't need
I
to.
mean,
He's sitting pretty. He just gets to sit there and make money off of them.
well, exactly. And the ideal is that you're not there being in the hands of development. What you are is showboating and of being the face of Gearbox and being the face for that product and stuff. So all the people who come together to make that game, they don't really get the recognition, because you have your face in there. You do all of these stunts and everything to showcase, how cool it is to be at Gearbox and make games. And for you to be able to take your portion of the sales from that game, the bonus, and not be able to give it to your employees, it feels really corrupted. And
Yeah.
it's disgusting, because it's not fair. Whether it's stocks, whether it's you possibly promised to give them bonuses, you promised them, I don't know if it was written or verbally, but you promised them to get something. Borderlands 3 had a big exclusive deal for 1 year. It sold well on two platforms with PC. It just came to Steam, I think in February. So it's just like it made money. There's no way that a game that sells close to $8 million doesn't recoup the cost on its graphics. Trust me, Borderlands 3 is not graphically impressive. It's a cell shaded game that looks a little bit more fluid and colorful. That's really all it is. But Nintendo could do that. Nintendo on its own could do that. There's no way that Borderlands 3 costs more than a Nintendo game. There's probably no way for it. So for it not to cost that much and then sell 8 million copies, you're already selling on 3 platforms versus Nintendo selling on their own platform. Why is it that you made all this money? Because you had to recoup the cost already. It don't take that much to recoup the cost to make Borderlands 3. So if you already recoup the cost and you're making more money, is 2K taking a lot of their portion out? Is Randy Pitchford taking his portion out? And then all the other employees are not getting paid what they were supposed to be owed. Because if they were supposed to get a bonus if they reach a certain milestone of sales, they need to get their money. And selling 8 million alone, allegedly selling 8 million alone, they should have been had that bonus. They should have had that bonus by December or whenever this game sold that many copies. There is possibly no way they should not have that.
Well, like I said, it's a little bit more complex because it is. Mm-hmm. It's those bonuses were based around the shares that they own of the company, of the company itself. So, like, I don't know what kind of stuff went into that as to why they didn't get as much as they were supposed to. But the bottom line is like they're basically not getting the amounts according to how many shares or whatever they own of the company that they're mm-hmm. supposed to be getting for some reason, and I think a lot of people would like to know, but like I said, what it all comes down to is this is a perfect example of why we need unions in the game industry, because like this kind of stuff should not be able to happen. Like a person like Randy Pitchford should not have that thing that they can dangle over their heads and, like I said, literally use them as a shield, that if someone wants to have a negative thought about the way he's doing things and not buy a game, in the end it doesn't hurt him. It hurts those shareholders, the people, and the people who are working on those games. They don't hold enough of those shares to get anything in the first place. So now him doing that stuff is taking money away from them.
It comes to the question of, where is your moral standard for your company at? Why are you not supporting or fighting for your employees? If they're the ones that's coming in and they're the ones that got to do the crunch so the company could stay afloat, you shouldn't receive no $12 million. You should be spending that $12 million to get to your employees and whatever else the company needs. That's why everybody was mad at Activision and Bobby Kotick, because you let all of these people go and then you hired somebody else and gave them like a $40 million bonus or something, a signing bonus or whatever that thing is. And people were pissed off at Bobby Kotick because that's in Activision. You got all of this money. Why are you cutting these people? And why are you hiring somebody who really we don't know in the gaming sphere? Why they're getting a bonus?
Probably because in the long run, they probably, even giving them bonuses, probably still saved money, because a lot of those people that they got rid of may have been senior enough that they were making, quite a bit or demanding quite a bit of money, where it would have actually been cheaper for them to get rid of them and then give someone new and then give them bonuses, and they still would have saved money.
Well,
Like, because unfortunately you see that a lot in places where, you know, like a lot of businesses see people as disposable, and they would love to get rid of, if they could, every single person who's been there for years and is making way more money than what it costs to pay for starting. Because if they can get rid of all the seniors that have been there for a while, they can cut their budget back, or
but
have a bigger budget, and then they
the
can,
problem with that is that even if they cut the budget, the people who still in charge are still going to be making some money. You cut
yeah,
that person to get the budget, but then Call of Duty sells whatever it sells, and they're making the money. They're making the
yeah,
bonus.
then they can
That's
give themselves bonuses. Yeah,
and that's what people are upset about. Definitely with Randy Pitchford, definitely with Bobby Kotick. It's just like, even if you fire or let these people go, no bonuses should be given at all.
yeah.
None
That
whatsoever. Because when
but
that
that,
information,
unfortunately, that's
the-
never how people who
right.
run businesses do it.
Because when that information comes out, the gamers, the people who are buying your products, they're the ones that are upset. They see that this is unjust and this is not equal. And
Yeah.
it really sucks, because I feel like Activision is in a weird situation, in a sense,
Mhm.
where a lot Blizzard has kind of fallen from grace from where they were at. Activision, even though Call of Duty is a hit with them, that's really the only game that got going for them. And no disrespect to you, Jesse, but if you know that wrong stuff is going on, people feel like you shouldn't be supporting Infinity War and Treyarch and all the people who make the Call of Duty games, because when you buy those games, you're feeding to Bobby Kotick and thinking it's right that he could receive whatever bonuses he wants to receive, even though he made a decision, or the board made a decision, or whatever, to do something that felt dishonest and unjust. But because you have a love for that particular series, for that game, you'll support it anyway. You know, and
Not
and
necessarily,
and
because
I mean,
that's why I said, though. That's why I said you can't not buy a game because you don't like what the CEO is doing and think that that's going to hurt him, because it's not going to hurt him. It's going to hurt all the people that you don't want it to hurt.
well,
And that's it.
And
So
that's the
in other words,
that's
keep
the thing,
buying games that you want to buy, because
right?
unfortunately,
And
that's not the way to, you know.
and that's the thing about it, kind of with Activision and a little bit with Gearbox, is that it's not that you don't want to buy it. Sometimes, because you have a love or adoration for this particular series of a game, sometimes force yourself to buy it. You
Yeah.
know, to buy that particular game for that brand and that series,
Well,
and it's that's why I said that's why it feels weird with this Gearbox thing, is that you did a whole showboat thing to get people to see the latest Borderlands 3. You sold enough, so you should have had your budget back. Why is it that the people who came to make this game are not receiving their portion that you, as a CEO, promised? If you love and you cared about the company, and that there's videos of you saying all of this and how you guys are a family, you work together, if you're saying all of this, why are you treating them this way, in that manner? If you got this kind of bonus, your bonus should have went to, yes, I did get 12 million. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna spend my 12 million, and deliver it to the people who really worked on this game, because I promised them. If Iwata could take a price cut because of the Wii U was failing, and most of other people in Nintendo was doing it, Bobby Kotick and Randy Pitchford. Bobby Kotick is just an example, and Randy Pitchford should be able to do the same thing so that his employees, so not his employees, so those employees can receive their bonus and get paid, and you fulfill the promise and the word that you delivered to the team who came together to make this 8 million selling game.
Mhm. Yeah, and and like I said, this is all alleged, obviously,
Yeah,
because we don't know for sure,
no,
but
yes.
but unfortunately, this kind of thing can ultimately be talked about in general because it happens. These kinds of things happen a lot everywhere, and big businesses and stuff, and ultimately, unfortunately, at this point there's nothing that we can do unless we're like personally have any experience in starting unions or would know how to help something like that happen. But ultimately, if this did actually happen and he said the things that he said to the people, the ball is in the developers court now, and now they are the ones, unfortunately, that have to make something happen. It's if this, getting the message out to us, unfortunately, it doesn't do a whole lot for them as far as just regular people like you and me.
Mhm.
I mean, other than us talking about it, and hopefully that will be enough to get something rolling. But something's got to be done now, and unfortunately, the people working there are the ones who are going to have to put in the work to if they want to make this change and make it something different. Be it if they feel like they have to just walk away from it, that's fine. But ultimately that won't solve a whole lot either. But I do understand that people have well, families and things that they've got to worry about, and so you do what you got to do to be able to survive. But at the same time, you've got to unfortunately, people that are in the positions that they're in are going to have to do something so this doesn't happen, things like this don't happen. And and it's not easy.
Yeah,
It never is to
it never
start
is.
unions or any of those kinds of things, because there's a lot of people that know that try to stomp those kinds of things out. But ultimately, there needs to be something. There needs to be some kind of security for people that are working at these places for things like this to not be able to happen.
And
You
and
know.
and some people, the gamers are who are upset and seeing stuff like this,
Hmm.
they feel like this is unethical and this is unmoral.
Hmm.
And because of the history of Randy Pitchford and the way that he has done things, this just is adding more crap to the cake. I
Yeah.
should say. And a lot of people are getting to the point where they don't love seeing Randy Pitchford or his name. They don't
Mhm.
they don't want to support him, but he's connected to a company who really knows how to make great games. And it sucks that in order for them to keep them afloat, they have to keep Randy Pitchford afloat. This
Mhm.
unethical and unjust and unmoral man.
Mhm.
Well, that's what gamers are seeing, and he, with the hard drive, the porn, uh, the aliens, colonial marines, all of this stuff that has been following Randy Pitchford has given a lot of people feelings of we don't want to support you, but yet there is a fan base who will support him, who may ignore all of this because Gearbox makes one of their favorite games. And as long as they get to make their favorite games in that series, they will
Well,
do
and there,
whatever.
yeah, and there's just, I mean, ignorance where not everyone like pays attention to what's
Mhm.
going on behind something. like they just see a game and they're like, oh, I like that game, and they know nothing about the company. They know nothing about the way the company is ran. They know nothing about the people who run the company. They don't know any of the names of the people who run there's a lot of people that just don't pay attention to stuff on a level like, like we do or whatever. And that's not necessarily anyone's fault, but I mean, like that's the thing is, like I said, ultimately unfortunately the ball is in the developer's court now, and they've got to decide what they're gonna do from this point on. Whether they're gonna, just sit back and just let it happen because some people might not have a choice, like I said, but
yes,
I feel like this day and age, the gaming industry makes more money than movies and music combined. So like it's the biggest money making business right now. And so there's plenty of jobs out there for people, for developers, and there's plenty of places for people to go. If they really do not like the way that he's doing things and are just sick of it, I feel like a lot of people would support these people that are dealing with stuff, and there's a lot of great, developer companies and stuff out there and groups that are just looking for people. You constantly hear about developer companies and groups looking for, people who have experience in this type of game, and people who, like, so I feel like, like if they were to walk away and this did come out more public and there's more proof of this kind of stuff going on, that there'd be a lot of people out there and a lot of companies that would be welcoming and, open their hands up, because, just like any other business, not all people who run businesses are shady or aren't respectful of the positions underneath them, so yeah, it's an unfortunate, like, big mess.
Yeah. But everybody, we're gonna leave it there. Hopefully, we'll hear from Corey and Ray's perspective sometime on this. But we would love to hear what you guys think. You can hit us on Twitter at BossRushGames, and you can email us at BossRushGamesPro@gmail.com. We really want to hear what you guys think. But with that, everybody, you can find me on Twitter at ThatBretrico, and check out Optional Opinion on SoundCloud and Nintendo Pod Block and other podcasts here on BossRushGames.com. Jesse, where can we find you?
You can find me almost everywhere as Phantom NXS.
Yes, and you can find me on Xbox as the Lyrical One, PSN as Okami, and my Switch number is in my profile on my Twitter page. With that, everybody, have a great week, have a great day, have a great night whenever you hear this. And that's always, while we are in quarantine, let's be better to one another. But come on, everybody, let's play a lot of games. With that, everybody, we'll see you next time on Boss Rush Podcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Cat's saying bye too.